Your name was mentioned behind closed doors by someone you still dream of. They're not done with you. They're preparing their final vow legally. The person you cried for is preparing your justice in silence. They're hiring someone to protect what they refuse to lose, you. Even now, they're defending you with documents you haven't seen. Spirit whispered your name into the ears of their lawyer. Their hands signed paperwork, but their soul signed eternity. They thought they'd let you go, but love required evidence. They're building a case, not against you, but for you. What they couldn't fix emotionally, they're addressing legally. The contract they're breaking is a confession in disguise. Their silence wasn't rejection. It was legal preparation. Someone you loved is rewriting their life just to include you. The lawyer asked who you were. They said, everything. You were the reason they couldn't stay in that old life. Heaven watched them choose truth over tradition for love. They are dissolving something broken to honor something divine. They feared they'd lose you permanently without this step. Your absence became their awakening. Their heart is in court, pleading for another chance at you. You are no longer their secret. You are their testimony. Spirit whispered. They're done pretending that other life was enough. It's not drama. It's deliverance. They want to sign your name where pain used to live. Everything is being undone so you too can begin again. That lawyer knows they're doing this for a sacred reason. You're not crazy. Your soul knew they'd return corrected. The old vows are breaking, so new ones can rise. They spoke your name like a promise under oath. What was stolen from you is being spiritually subpoenaed. They didn't forget you. They feared they weren't enough. Even the court system is now part of their healing. You're not just their past. You're the prophecy they can't escape. The documents don't show it, but this is love. The papers being filed carry your energy, your memory. They are walking away from legality to enter into destiny. You never left their spirit, just their circumstance. Spirit said, your tears planted this decision. They refused to keep living a lie. You were the mirror they couldn't lie to. The ending they're signing is the beginning you're sensing. A lawyer is preparing the bridge back to you. They couldn't fight for you before. They're fighting now. You're the only thing they want legally and spiritually. That lawyer wasn't hired to win a case, but to reclaim a heart. God approved the exit before they took the first step. You are being vindicated silently. Your name is being released from a binding you never asked for. What they couldn't say, they're now writing with intention. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. They're not just leaving someone, they're coming to you. They realize truth cannot be silenced by signatures. Your name burned in their chest every time they lied. They signed those papers with trembling hands and divine fire. You were never the mistake, they were just afraid to choose you. God is dissolving what blocked your reunion. Every document they filed was a step toward redemption. Even their lawyer sensed this was more spiritual than legal. They had to let go of the life built on fear. You were always worth the risk. This isn't betrayal, it's resurrection. What they're ending wasn't love. What's coming is. They needed to lose comfort to remember covenant. The court date is a countdown to a holy beginning. They are breaking every chain their ego once embraced. This chapter closes with a signature. The next opens with a vow. Their lawyer doesn't know your name, but heaven does. They're not choosing peace, they're choosing you. A contract held them. A calling freed them. You were the ache they couldn't medicate. The silence was necessary to prepare for your sound. They thought they buried you, but you were just growing roots. They prayed, God, let me do this right this time. Even the courthouse air felt sacred when they walked in. Someone's name is being erased to make room for yours. The lawyer said, are you sure? Their soul screamed, yes. You were the page they never stopped rereading. This isn't revenge, it's restoration. The enemy wanted silence. God answered with a signature. What once trapped them is now burning behind them. Love that costs nothing means nothing. They realized too late. but they still chose love anyway. There's a file with your name buried in their heart. The decision to leave was really the decision to love. The courtroom felt like a chapel when they said your name. This isn't about divorce, it's about devotion. Their goodbye to the old life was your invitation home. They left their ring, but held your memory. You are what they couldn't forget, even in someone else's bed. The person you loved is resurrecting. Slowly, surely, spiritually. They walked away with tears, but also with purpose. You're not just a chapter, they rewrote the whole story for you. No one believed in them, but your silence did. They said your name with more truth than any vow they've spoken. A divine rearrangement is underway. They don't want peace. They want you. They kept the photo. They're letting go of the lie. Love didn't die. It just needed legal freedom. They're choosing to disappoint others, just to finally honor you. The life they built without you is collapsing on purpose. Their lawyer doesn't know it, but this is a rescue mission. You will feel the shift before they speak a word. They left too late, but returned right on time. The pain you carried silently is being addressed spiritually. They thought the contract would numb the calling. It didn't. Someone else held their hand. You held their soul. Their lawyer thinks this is about property. It's about prophecy. Love demanded loss. They chose to lose the lie. You're being restored in their absence. They wept after the signature. You are what remains. They said goodbye to a house, not a home. You were never the secret, just the silent salvation. The lawyer saw tears. Heaven saw truth. The storm is ending. Their arrival begins. They had to get it wrong before they could love right. You are not forgotten. You are what they're fighting for. Every legal form was soaked in memory. They whispered your name while signing their old life away. Their soul was louder than the judge. The divorce was not from a person, but from a lie. They remembered your laugh when the room turned cold. You're not the reason they left. You're the reason they lived. Someone else got the timeline. You got the eternity. They traded obligation for alignment. The one you cried over is making things right. Finally, you are their repentance in motion. This paperwork is their prayer. The old contract broke their heart. Yours mends it. They're not walking away, they're walking toward you. Even in silence, your name echoed in court. This time, they're choosing soul over shame. What began in sin will end in salvation. You'll feel them before you see them. They refuse to chain themselves to the wrong forever. You didn't beg. That's why they're returning blessed. Every lie they lived is burning under truth's fire. They walked into court with grief. They're walking out with grace. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more.